Hi everyone, welcome to Real Science Challenge. I'm Kent Louie, science teacher and talking head. Talking best practice in science education and broadcasting from beautiful Vancouver, Canada. Now I was presenting at another Pro-D workshop recently, and one of the biggest concerns regarding using standards-based grading or standards-based assessment or SBG or SBA, I hear time and again, is where's the content? Now many science teachers who resist using SBA say that new science curriculum like the NGSS, Next Generation Science Standards, or the science curriculum here in BC don't put enough emphasis on content, since SBA is focused on assessing skills like science and engineering practices or the curricular competencies here in BC. But that is absolutely not true. There is content in SBA, but now we're being asked to assess students on how they use it. And I'll show you what I do in a second, but before I do, handouts for this episode are available at realsciencechallenge.com/EP56, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, I hear this comment all the time, that students need to know X, Y, and Z for university or for the next level, whatever that level may be. Now, don't get me wrong, science knowledge is important, but let's face it, most students are never really going to need to know the level of science that we know as teachers. And if they really need to know this, then Google or ChatGPT will likely give it to them. So really what's important today is not the content knowledge itself, but how students use it. For example, in my physics classroom, I teach concepts and calculations all the time. But at the end of the day, I'm really getting students to problem solve, and that's what I'm assessing them on. And to me, that fits with the process and analyze skills in the BC curriculum in NGSS. So what we can do is craft better questions that get students to use their knowledge while demonstrating a skill. Now consider communicating and argument writing. I put at least one essay style question on my science tests, and students need to use the CER, or claim, evidence, reasoning, and rebuttal framework in their response. And this ensures that students demonstrate the skill of writing an argument while using content. For example, here's a practice question I give students before our test on conservation of energy. It has a little graph here, and it says 3 rockets, A, B, and C, are all launched separately into the sky at the same angle and under similar conditions. The graph below shows the altitudes each rocket achieves before coming back to Earth. Now, which rocket has the most aerodynamic shape? Be sure to use the CER framework in your response. Now, for claim, rocket A is the most aerodynamic. A claim is an argument I am making. For evidence, rocket A flies almost 6,000 meters, while B and C fly less than that. Now for reasoning, why would rocket A fly higher if it was more aerodynamic? Well, a more aerodynamic shape would result in less air resistance between the rocket and the environment. And less air friction or resistance would result in less energy loss to heat. Because every rocket starts with a whole bunch of kinetic energy that's gradually transformed into potential energy. And the more kinetic energy that is conserved, the more of it will be transformed into potential energy, and the higher the rocket will go. Now that's a start of an explanation, of reason, and that's where we can mark for content. Students need to connect the phenomena, the rockets, to science concepts. And that is where we can expect the content to appear in the reasoning section. For rebuttal, I'd ask students to consider other things, other reasons why maybe rocket B and C are in fact the most aerodynamic and rocket A just happens to be highest. For example, maybe rocket A has the most fuel, and so therefore it has the most energy to get up higher, not the fact that it has the most aerodynamics. That is an alternate explanation. And that is content, right there, that is content. So there is content in SBA. And anyone who says there isn't is fixed on the idea that we can assess science in only one way, and that way is based solely on content. That's it for this episode. Please smash the like or subscribe button or leave a comment below, and handouts once again for this episode at realsciencechallenge.com/EP56. Thanks for watching, and let's talk science education again soon.